because their legs don't really work and their arms don't really work. So eventually you just like throw it in the box. Just throw her in the box.
And so I'm going to dress.
If you play with them, you dress them. But
So I have a lot of Cher Barbie clothes. So all of Mimi's Barbies will look like Cher.
Perfect. And then you lose the clothes, right? You lose a shoe, you lose a scarf, you lose a top to the shorts.
Okay, guys, we are connected.
That's how everyone ends up having a weird Barbie.
Make it Barbie.
A weird Barbie.
Yeah, weird Barbie.
That's how they play too hard.
They play too hard.
I saw that movie again on the airplane. That's when I decided on the Christmas tree theme. And I freaking cried. Like the first time around, I liked it a lot. This time, I was like deeply moved. Like that
like
end.
The end is very sweet.
It's really like very deeply human in this really sweet way. And yeah it was really.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the story of the creator like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even put in there, she died of breast cancer, which is intense given but.
Ready to go on your mark. We good?
Let's go.
All right.
Support for Wrong About Everything comes from Minnesota's credit unions. Credit unions are locally based, member-owned financial cooperatives that return earnings to members through higher savings rates, lower loan rates, and reduced fees. Visit mncun.org for more information.
Am I going first?
Somebody asked.
I'll go. Hey, welcome to another episode of Wrong About Everything. That's what we say. I am Democratic strategist and the Puerto Rican heat, Javier Morillo.
I am conservative strategist and Mexico City Sugar, Brian McDaniel.
And I just got back from Ireland. I'm Amy Koch.
And we are
Wrong about everything. I'm wearing a sweater I got there. See, of course, the fisherman's sweater.
It's kind of a warm day for that thick of a sweater.
No, it's cold today.
Today?
Yes. You just running around with a proper coat on.
Yeah.
Well, quite obviously.
Obviously, when they would sail, and then they would be able to identify the family. The pattern on the sweater would tell them because they didn't have like the means to identify people if sailors died. That's what
that sounds like bullshit. Frankly,
no.
Oh, no. I can look at your sweater and know your clan.
The different families had different sweater stitching, and that's how they would identify them. That was the point of the sweaters.
That's Irish lore.
This one, they're full of blarney for sure. And I kissed
malarkey.
Stone.
Yeah.
So now I am too.
Well, listening public, obviously Davis was supposed to do the
run sheet.
I think it was Davis that we should.
Yeah.
It was Davis's job to do the run sheet, and they did not show up. So here we are.
If they're not here, then they can't defend themselves.
Yeah.
So,
also,
dang it.
So Brian and I were spent last week in Mexico, last long weekend in Mexico.
Yeah, and then I had an extra day.
Yeah. Not intentionally. Thank you, Delta Airlines.
Not on purpose. Thank you,
fluffy
Delta.
sweaters?
No, we were in the tropics. Thank you very much.
No.
It was lovely.
It could not
really sweaty.
It was very sweaty.
Like that first day, the first day that I was there, it was 90, but that was jungle 90. It should not ever get that hot. That was uncomfortably hot.
I mean, that's the kind of heat I grew up in. It was like hot, humid, like so. It was but on the actual. So we were there for a wedding. The lovely Sara Lopez married William Braun.
William.
That was funny. So for groom's dinner that they didn't do, it was like a cocktail party the day before. They had made these signs that for each table say that were supposed to say Sara and William. But Sara had them made, and they spelled Willian, Willian, which is how I mean. I was like, in fairness, that's what it sounds like in Spanish. Well, William, and so, so we were at a wedding. It was the first time officiating a wedding. I co-officiated.
Wait, you did, not Brian? Did they know that Brian is also registered?
I was the head of security.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know.
I was the sergeant at arms.
And because it was in Mexico, actually, I'm not an ordained anything, and Emma, State Representative Emma Greenman, friend of the program, she and I co-officiated. She did the English. I did pretty much
Oh, how lovely.
Spanish, but neither of us are authorized to marrying anyone in Mexico. So then we had to bring in a judge to do the last, the most important.
Who was a little bit late.
Who was both a little bit late. Literally, when the ceremony started, I was like, so the ceremony, we started it, and I suddenly realized, wait a minute. I'm like, hey, Emma, do you know if the judge is here? I'm whispering to her, and she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, so I text one of Sada's friends, like, is the judge here? And she's like looking around, and then a little later, she's like, he's by the harpist. Like, he showed up late. He forgot the rings. Like, he forgot to do the ring part. Like, so we did all the we did the vows.
The rings, or is that not?
Well, so we had this all planned out, and so we did the vows, and then he needed to come in because there's a specific thing that the judge needs to do in Mexico, and so so it's all over. We're about to like send them off, and then Sada's family was just like, the rings. They're like, we never did the rings, and I look at Emma. I'm like, were we supposed to do rings? She's like, no, the judge was. Like, and he was just. Whatever. But it was such a beautiful, lovely wedding. However, I cannot believe the amount of sweat that I expelled. Like, I literally, like, I don't even understand. I know how much water I drank in the days before, and I know I expelled more water than
the night of at the reception after the wedding. I had something in one of my pockets, so it didn't touch my skin. So there was like one part of my pocket that was like the color that the shirt was originally. The rest of it was just like five shades darker.
I mean, it looked fun, but you guys, it looked sweaty.
It's just a tropical wedding. It was lovely.
It was cool and lovely in Ireland.
I was wearing the most beautiful white jacket I've ever owned. I got it in Mexico a few months ago, and when I was getting ready, John Stiles was like, why are you putting on an undershirt? That's dumb. You shouldn't put on an undershirt. I'm like, no, you don't know what it's like to be in this weather. If I don't wear an undershirt, I'm going to look like Mark Dayton. Remember when he used to sweat like
he used to have
very quickly, and he would not wear undershirts. Yeah. And so then his blue shirts would be like, I can see your nipples. I respect you, Governor. I would like to not look at your nipples.
Yeah, trigger warning on that nipple.
Yeah. So anyway, here's the deal. Amy was. You were in Ireland where they lied to you about your sweater.
They told me the truth about it.
Sure. And yeah, did they tell you it was also like Braille?
No. They just said the pattern.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh, I'm sorry. No one touched the goods.
And we were in Mexico, and so and all three of us had very busy weeks. And so last night, Amy texted and said, like, can one of you do the run sheet? Because I definitely cannot. And I was about to, like, because guilt works really well on me. I was about to say, like, I'll do it. Then I was like, I literally do not have enough time.
I just thought this one would be on the plane delayed, and they have Wi-Fi on the plane.
Wow.
Well,
it was really pointedly directed at you.
It was.
I thought it was directed at me, but apparently it was very specifically.
I was on the plane. I was watching a very lovely Apple Plus show called Monarch.
Yeah. See, so busy.
Well,
okay. Now I'm pissed.
Well, I didn't get the message.
Did you? Oh, you didn't see the message?
I never saw.
You had Wi-Fi.
You have Wi-Fi and texting for free. Oh, boy.
He ignored us. It's fine. It's fine. In any case, so here's the deal. We didn't actually.
The message. This is
I thought we were blaming Davis, not each other.
This is the first I've heard of it. You're the one who brought it up.
Their fault.
Settle down. It's Davis's fault. Settle down.
Sweaty McSweaterson.
Anyway, Davis didn't show up. The three of us were busy, and
well, they did not show up. We knew they weren't really.
Okay, now you're ruining that. Jesus, they're not going to listen. None of us listen.
All right. Well.
When we're not
show
on.
up.
Anyway, so the point being is that this is a less than organized show. I said last night. So
I don't feel like we had to say that after this opening.
It's been pretty good so far.
Pretty obvious.
Hey, this is premium content that I look forward to browbeating ours.
For the members.
Tell me more about the gubernatorial nipple in your undershirt.
For the Minnesota media members who do tell us that they
listen to the
show to find out what they want to do later.
I hope you scrolled ahead.
Yeah, I hope you.
We're going to get to content in a second. So it's not a super organized show. So we have a little grab bag of issues. If you're watching online, wait, are we on Facebook
and YouTube? Right?
Because I'm not seeing it on the screen.
Yes, we are on Facebook.
We are on Facebook.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Gabe.
So if you guys have topics you'd like to talk, like us to talk about, throw them on the Facebook feed. But otherwise, we have a grad bag here, and I'm just going to throw out topics.
But I pay the bills first.
Oh, that's right.
That?
Wait, do you have the copy for that? Because I forgot my computer. I literally forgot my computer.
First of all, Minnesota Credit Union Network.
Oh,
Studio.
of course. Oh, yeah.
So grateful for you.
Tranche.
Tranche.
We are so sorry.
We're deeply in a tranche right now.
We deeply appreciate the support.
Yes, we're so grateful. Also, if anybody goes to Mexico and gets into some trouble, criminal or otherwise, you might want to call Mike Bryant at Bradshaw and Bryant, because the entire team of attorneys and staff are dedicated to providing the legal advice you need, combined with the service and personal attention that you deserve. If you have questions about how they can assist you with a personal injury, wrongful death, or criminal defense matter, do not hesitate to contact them. Consultations are free. Please contact them at 800-770-7008, or you can just go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com, because they own that as well. So,
Yes.
there you go. How's that?
That sounds
Look
great.
how that's as
Thanks.
organized as I get today.
Thanks for remembering that part, because I things were bad enough, and then I had my computer and my notes and all this, and I'm running out the door, and I get here, and I left them, hopefully on the kitchen counter, because I don't remember.
Probably on the top of your car.
Oh shit! No, I didn't. No, it's high, the Jeep, so I don't put things up there.
So are you.
No, I am not yet. All right, here. Should we just do? I'm just going to throw out topics.
Minnesota or federal? First.
Let's start with.
All right, well, I'm going to also check the Facebook to see if anybody's put anything on there, but we're honestly probably not going to listen to you. That was just us trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Amy, quiet. The voice in your head. That's the quiet part. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's
And turn down your phone.
For fuck's sake. All right. So.
Not today, Amy. Not today.
So let's start with the story that actually made me tear up last night when I read it and sent it to you guys about Sandra Day O'Connor, and it just took a turn that I was not expecting.
Honestly, me too.
Yeah.
So
it's a lovely piece written by Patty Davis, who is the daughter of Ronald Reagan and his first spouse.
And so obviously Ronald Reagan appointed Sandra Day O'Connor to the court. She was the first woman appointed to the Supreme Court, so she was breaking barriers. And Patty Davis had a picture of her dad and Sandra Day O'Connor when he appointed her, and she was and first it was about how young and vital and athletic they were, and they were really changing the world, which was true and beautiful. Mm. And then, which I didn't know this. So first of all, I didn't know that Sandra Day O'Connor dated William Rehnquist and had a proposal.
He proposed to her.
Proposed.
How awkward is that? That then they were on the court together. How did I not know that?
He proposed to her. She shut him down because he was too boring, and then she married John.
Apparently, he also asked by saying, "To be clear, will you marry me this summer?"
Yeah.
Which was like, okay, no, asshole.
No, Sandra's got things
Yeah.
and many other proposals. She had 3 proposals. She picked John, her husband. That was his name, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this because she passed away and had deep dementia, Alzheimer's, which I knew. And of course, Ronald Reagan also did. And Patty Davis has been doing a lot of work in this area. Mm-hmm. So she knew. But also, Sandra Day O'Connor's husband, she first, before she got Alzheimer's, cared for him.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. So
Yeah.
you want to continue the story?
And so just stuff among the things I didn't know was one that that she in the early days of his care brought him with her to the Supreme Court, which is just as
I know, that almost broke me when I
says something to you too about just care for the elderly in our society, right? That there just aren't a whole lot of options. What do you do, right? But then she had intended to, and she retired early, sooner than she could have, in order to care for him. But then, very soon realized that
it was coming
that his needs were just greater than what she could do. So she had to make a very difficult choice to put him in a facility where he could be cared for. And she visited him. And this I genuinely learned both about Alzheimer's, which I'd never heard this.
And by the way, I didn't know this. And both my grandmothers died with Alzheimer's, and my dad currently has had 8 years of struggle and fight with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And I had no idea about this.
And so I'll just read a passage from this. And it was just so beautiful. In 2007, she went even further, allowing her son Scott to disclose that John had fallen in love with a resident at the facility, and that he had done, and he did so with the former justice's blessing. In an interview with KPNX TV, a Phoenix station, Scott described how his mother would watch John and his new partner sitting on a bench together, clearly smitten with each other. Quote, "Mom was thrilled that Dad was relaxed."
I know, I can't.
Was that Dad was relaxed and happy and comfortable living there. She continued to visit him, though he no longer recognized her. People with Alzheimer's lose connections, memories become frayed threads, but the desire for companionship runs deeper than the disease. It's fairly common for patients to develop new romantic, even sexual relationships, but it's something that few people feel comfortable talking about.
And she did.
And she did. And I just thought, like, there's a level of that is such deep love too, to like that body carried the person I was in love with. That body now no longer carries that soul in that way, in that mind, that brain, but I want that body to be happy and that person, that human being, to be happy. And if this is bringing him happiness, I'm not going to put it in the frame of mind of jealousy or whatever. And like,
well, and to love him so much.
Yeah.
Right. She clearly loved him so much that she could let him be. It was
just really, it really, it's so stunning. Like my husband sent it to me, and I immediately texted him. I was like, "Whoa, that took a turn. That's not what I was expecting." So lovely story there. Now let's go to something not lovely. We will not have Guitarra Chivache to kick around anymore.
What a shame. I'm actually sad about this.
Yeah. I love. Did you see any of the TikToks? Give me the TikToks with RuPaul saying to Guitarra Chivache and to George Santos, "Sashay away."
Oh no! I thought maybe that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not for Drag Race.
No. It's just like you've both been expelled.
Now, of course, what we're talking about is George Santos was expelled from the House of Representatives. I am someone that is extremely nervous about expelling people from Congress. It's only happened sixth person ever. What, the third since the Civil War?
Right.
However, this guy was an asshole and got there by fraud, conducted himself in a manner certainly unbecoming anyone to represent their area. I was not in any way, shape, or form outraged at all by this. I think that in a lot of ways, only the voters can police these people, but Congress does get to kind of decide who gets to. Same thing in Minnesota, you get to decide who can be seated and for what reason. And I think that George Santos definitely deserved to have his privileges to serve his area revoked.
He couldn't tell the truth. Like, he just couldn't, even when caught in like just simple lies or complex lies about big things, right? What he did with his career, that his mother was in 9/11, that he was Jewish. He said he was Jew.
And then he said, "Yeah, I didn't say I was a Jew. I said I'm Jewish." Like, ha ha ha, Mr. Shecky Green.
I mean, just anyway. He clearly needs help, right? He's a little disturbed, or what's the deal?
He also revealed his spouse, and I need Child Protective Services to check in on that situation. Did you see that? Very young man. And I'm gonna be like, listen, brother, I get it. Like, now that we can get married, maybe, but I don't know what the story is. I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a biopic.
Yeah, who's gonna play him?
It's a fun game.
Yeah.
It is a fun game.
What do you like? I
think we agree on who is the perfect.
See, my favorite is still, doesn't look like him, but he plays him so perfectly on Saturday Night Live. Bowen Yang.
Bowen Yang does do a great job.
I just love.
Yes.
And I think Amy and I.
Yes.
Think Harvey Guillen, who plays Guillermo on
What We Do in the Shadows.
What is this show? I don't know it.
Oh my God, it's so good. Okay. So I stumbled, and this is a little bit of a sad story too. I stumbled across this movie because our good friend who has passed away, Drew Lee, gave me a list of movies that he wanted me to see, and he'd given me that when he was alive, and I needed to see it, so I watched it. It was a movie. It was a New Zealand movie with a then pretty much unknown Waika Tatiti, or however you say his name, as the main character, Waititi, and it was so funny. It was like a a movie where a bunch of vampires live in a house, and it's documented kind of like real world style, and it's hilarious. And then they made an American television show of it, And usually, if there's an adaptation from a movie, it's either worse or whatever. But it's as good. And in the television version, the person who plays like the Renfield character, so the familiar, the person who takes care of the vampires, is
because they need a familiar to take care of them during the day.
yeah,
It's Guillermo,
is
who
this guy
wants to
named
be a
Guillermo, and they call him, of course, he's a human, so they don't like him. They call him Gizmo, and the main person that he works with is a vampire of Middle Eastern descent. He just calls him Guillermo, and it's just the best show. It's
funnier than how he's describing it, though.
I know, but it's worth the movie.
Yeah. Don't write a review on Rotten Tomatoes.
The movie and the television show are both worth your time.
Yeah.
All
very
right.
much.
So,
So
George
you should play
Sancho's
George
Kita
Sancho.
Khavash.
How do you say it? What is it?
Kitara Khavash.
That was the drag name.
That's the drag name. Yes, that is.
I don't know.
Yeah, explain to the people who might not remember.
So among the things we learned after this man was already elected is that at some point, there was like credit card fraud in Brazil. He was one of a Brazil. Like it's unclear whether.
Yeah, we think he was on the lamb from Brazil.
He was a lamb. He was lamb-ish.
No, I think this is going to end in him losing his U.S. citizenship. Like I think that guy like scammed.
That is
like what's so
amazing.
crazy is that he's like the untalented Mr. Ripley, like the sort of.
That's the name of the movie.
What is
They should
Untalented
Mr.
Untalented Mr. Ripley.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm giving you praise.
Because it's like the similar concept of someone who's like just has these personas or whatever, but he was so bumbling about it that you're just like the New York Times keeps patting itself on its back for for its reporting on George Santos when they literally did not break the story. It was a small Long Island paper that had been reporting on it. They were just ignoring
after
it.
he won, I just want to point out.
And after he won,
just like the Democrats who were doing the opposition research, the New York Times and everybody came in post him winning a congressional seat.
yeah, I like the Democrat who lost him was like, I was trying to I'm sorry, you are a freaking idiot. Like there's no
No, it's a swing district. It wasn't even a safe Republican seat.
Yeah, no, that was
Or
bananas.
safe Democrat seat.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, it was like if it was a safe Republican seat, you might not. Maybe nobody does
you
that
might
more
not put up a
research.
fight.
Maybe
but
he lucks in.
right,
No,
but anyway, so yeah, that. Let's see. So we move on to the next. Oh, Tuberville. How about that for another dumb thing?
okay. Now
He
we
stopped.
blame Davis for a lot, especially how terrible this podcast is going.
Yeah, because they really should have done that run sheet for us. Where
However, they've been on something for I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, and it's been about Senator Tuberville, who has been holding up basically all the confirmations, and I can't even remember why anymore. What was
because
Well,
of
I
the
know
policy
you
on
have an opinion.
abortion, the policy on abortion, and the vague whatever anti-woke. I'm thinking the military is too woke, which is as an army brat, the idea that so what the military is, it like insofar as the military integrated way before U.S. society did. The military and there are lots of things that happen in the military first because. And from a perspective, and I would remind people when the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action in colleges across the country, colleges and universities, you know where they left it? In the military academies. And think about that, the hypocrisy. The reason is because the military understands that, like, when you have people under your command in the military, it is a very racially diverse group of people, especially because we recruit people in an all-volunteer army and all-volunteer armed forces. It tends to be people who are from, not privileged classes who are, and so you actually, you need diversity and equity and inclusion, the boogeyman words of the Republican Party these days, and so it's not. It makes sense. So
Also,
just
it
a
is
general
such
sort of. Well,
also, it is just like so. Anybody who has served, or been in family, it's just like it's families from everywhere and it's people from everywhere. That's what struck me even about basic training.
Yep.
I remember there was 80 girls in an open bay dorm and women from all over the country. I had no way. The experience was fantastic, but I've never been in such a not just a diverse community, but like in a very close knit. We had to really depend on each other.
Right.
We did everything. We had to, plan everything from cleaning the toilets like our showers to our run, like everything. We had to work together in such a team that you took these super different people from all over the country and threw them in together and had them work as a team.
Right.
So like it's not wokeness. It's what we need to make the military the might that it is.
Yeah, I mean, look how many years it's taken me to get Brian to stop being so damn racist.
He would not do well in the Army.
No.
Maybe.
No,
the
well,
Navy.
but that's not the reason.
That's not the reason.
One of my favorite lines from you is when you admonish me to stop making racism seem charming.
It's true. That was in the early days.
That was
true.
in the early days.
But Tuberville won it on a general sense of the Army's too woke, and then it's on the specific policy of the Army, which has guaranteed health care for all soldiers, for women that are stationed in states where they cannot have full reproductive health care because the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, and the Republican Party is the dog that caught the ambulance and doesn't know what to do. So he, as opposed to a policy that allows the military that says the military will pay for a woman who needs reproductive health care.
By the way, only for a certain amount of weeks. And I know that because we had tests that came back and they told us, they counseled us that that if I decided to have an abortion, it would have to be up to a certain amount of time.
You mean when you were on?
It's limiting. When I was in the military,
Yeah.
Rachel, some test results came back. They said they counseled us in, these are the rules, and also you can have one, but only to a certain time.
Yeah. In any case, whatever whatever they do, whatever their restriction or not, Tommy Tuberville was blocking all military promotions, which in a time, and Republicans were getting increasingly annoyed because, there was a lot of pressure, and then with all the things happening in the world. So he relented on the vast majority, lifting the blockade on the vast majority of promotions, only keeping it for the highest ranking officers. But I think that will allow them to just do those individually, because what he was objecting to was the unanimous consent.
Okay. There you go. Davis did that.
So Davis, they finally listened to your Spanx. And Tommy Tuberville has moved on. Moving on to the next subject, because we just round robin here.
I'll check the Facebook, see if anybody suggested anything, but so far, no.
Donald Trump was asked on his Fox because he's been saying, there's all these things about the plans he has for retribution and getting rid of half the federal workforce, replace them with loyalists and blah 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 blah. And so Sean Hannity, thinks he's tossing him a softball by saying, basically giving him to take it back that he won't be a dictator. Are you going to be a dictator? And Trump, first literally just hems and haws and tries to avoid the question. And then he says, and then Fox has been reporting this as if it's a good thing. He said, only on the first day.
Well, I feel like all the presidents are sort of dictators on the first day. They hand down,
but they don't say it out loud.
Okay, I'm just saying. But this is why, and we talk about this. I hate when
there
they come in and they do all these, they undo what the other person was doing on the first day. They do all these executive orders. I hate executive orders. That's all I'm saying.
But I think executive orders, however one feels about them and how they are within the norms of how we have set up our government. They're acceptable. The word dictator is not.
It's a bad word.
It's a bad word.
Yes,
we don't say we want to be an axe murderer just for a day. I mean, just for a day. I just want to try it out.
Just on the first day.
Just on the first day. Yeah, and because I'm sure once he has a taste of it, he'll just stop.
All dictators do.
He'll just stop.
Dictators always get a little tired.
Yeah, they just eventually they're like, hey, let's bring back democracy. I'm tired of making all the decisions.
He's like, only until I die.
Which apparently will be never. But yerba mala nunca muere. That's as they say in Puerto Rico. Bad weed never dies. Bad weed.
Bad weed?
Bad weed.
Oh.
Bad weeds.
Bad weeds.
Oh.
Plants that are weeds. Weeds don't die. Yerba mala nunca. No, not. I mean, it does. Yerba does mean weed in that sense as well. But
that's why you never got COVID.
Yeah.
Because of why? Because of. Say it again.
Yerba mala nunca muere. Yeah, you've never had COVID?
No.
Me neither.
I can't get it. I'm a superhero.
Okay, that's a crazy explanation.
No,
long
I
there
talked
for-
to my doctor.
I think it's more like that bad weeds don't die.
No,
Yeah, I'm not okay with it. Yeah.
I asked my doctor, do I have superpowers? And
All right, next topic.
They said absolutely.
Shush. Next topic. Kevin McCarthy says he's leaving Congress at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's-
how the not so mighty have fallen.
I'm guessing he's going to go and lobby.
Yeah.
I would guess make some money.
He said he's going to go serve the American people another way. Yeah, definitely lobbying.
Definitely lobbying.
Definitely lobbying.
Listen, that is
but also that means a special election in California, right? I guess.
right.
that-
Pretty conservative district,
Yeah,
though.
but-
Feels pretty safe. So
Was he Orange County? Or, I don't know. I should know it. I don't.
but
Fresno.
yeah, wow.
we
He
don't
went
have
from
Modesto.
You don't know.
you won't have Kevin McCarthy to kick around anymore.
Yeah,
Nope.
you kind of see. You know what? It's almost impossible. Like,
Oh, I'd be like, get the hell.
Yeah,
And
my-
also, I'd light some fires on the way out.
well, he might. Remember, then John Boehner wrote a book,
Oh, that's true. His
and
burn
it
book,
was
the John Boehner
it
burn
was
book.
excellent.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
That book is
excellent.
That is
It's-
very
But at
bitter.
one time,
Recommended reading.
Boehner had been an effective speaker at one time.
Yeah, McCarthy. was-
McCarthy doesn't. There's not that much to write about
Yeah,
other than that last thing. It's like the first thing and the last thing.
yeah,
Leaving the house, but not the fight. He says. So we
So
look
did you
forward
guys-
to seeing what he does.
yeah. Did you guys see the news that Mike Johnson,
Which?
speaker, that guy,
Oh, yeah.
the one who's speaker, not the Dairy Queen. He says they're releasing all the January 6 tapes,
What?
Yep.
and then they say, but we're
Full
gonna
transparency.
we're for full transparency, but we're gonna blur the faces of the people there out of fear that the Department of Justice will prosecute them. And then people quickly pointed out that sounds a little what's the
Not
word,
transparent.
obstruction of justice-y, and that if people committed crimes who had not yet been caught, then maybe they should be caught.
So the idea is that folks on that say that January 6th was like, they say that not all the tapes have been released, and that the January 6th committee released selective videos.
Yeah.
That's the argument.
The
So
ones,
Republicans
all
are
the
saying-
people who are not beating cops in the head.
Well, so the Republicans are saying, all right, we're going to release them all, which is, you know what, by the way,
Allegedly.
Good. Release them all. That's what should happen.
That's what Liz Cheney's saying.
Let's
Release them all.
Release them all. Let it happen. But then don't be blurring faces because that takes away your transparency. Guys.
And then they walked it back 4 hours later because,
Yes, they did, which is right.
Listen,
and
we've
good.
been discovering more and more about this guy, Mike Johnson, that he's not just your random person whose name you can't remember because it's so generic. He's also a wacko, both in his beliefs and this is the full magafication. What's that?
He came around. They're going to
He walked it back 4 hours later. It's
back.
like he walked it back 4 hours later. Sure, yeah.
Go good.
Let's see. There's a GOP debate tonight. Where are you guys watching? Is there a party at LC's or something?
We have a work thing.
Where?
Where are you watching?
We gotta go do work.
Oh, I'm not watching that. Shit.
Anybody? I don't know if anybody's watching these.
Yeah, it's now.
Did you watch
It's now.
the
It's just
Gavin
for.
Newsom?
God no.
Oh,
and
who thought that was a good idea?
That looked insufferable. That looked insufferable in concept.
Gavin Newsom debating Ron DeSantis like a battle of the governors.
Yeah, I mean, at least ours was handsome. So he's a handsome guy.
DeSantis is handsome.
That's not.
No, he is not. Oh my God.
Yes, he has a beautiful
fine.
wife.
Stop objectifying him.
Right.
Okay, you said he's handsome. He has a beautiful wife. Those are two different things.
Well, she thinks he's handsome.
She thinks he's handsome.
Oh, hey, that's different. The eyes that she should. That's literally her job. That's fine. That's fine.
I feel bad
But-
even defending his looks. I don't think looks matter
Yeah.
in politics.
I wasn't. I was just saying that ours guy was handsome.
And I'm saying ours
I'm
is
sharing
not
there was not like,
attractive.
and he also doesn't have to wear high heels to appear the height that he is. I wish that Ron DeSantis could come to peace with who he is as a person, embrace his full self, stop wearing high heels, or just openly wear them, not wear them hidden in his boots, and just like walk that runway, girl. Work.
That's some heteronormative bullshit right there.
Heteronormative bullshit. No, I'm saying you got to
just
let it
tries
go
to
work.
use that.
I know.
He just likes to insert it.
I
Because
know.
he used it right one time
Yeah.
5 months ago, and you said you were surprised, and now
Yeah.
he wants to try to say it again,
Yeah.
and maybe he'll get it right again.
You learned that from your daughter, didn't you?
Actually, no, it was a YouTube show.
Wow.
Well, you look,
All right.
I'm a lifelong.
just-
It wasn't TikTok. Usually it's TikTok.
I'm a lifelong learner. I learn things from all kinds of different places.
All right, we're just plowing through here. Times Person of the Year. Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Of course.
I know, of
She's
course.
single-handedly carrying this economy between her
Well,
eras.
she and Beyonce, to be clear.
Yeah, but-
Beyonce, no, literally, both
Beyonce's in the Illuminati, and that's not cool.
Both of them, their concerts are propelling economic growth wherever they work.
It's amazing, unbelievable. And then she has brought the NFL to new heights of viewership. Made the Kansas City Chiefs the world's. They had this whole thing where they were
world's
talking
team.
about the world's team, and they do this like press conference, and they're talking about their marketing, and they're talking about, yes, this was our plan to be our world's team. Da-da. They don't even mention T Swift, and then of course, thankfully, the reporters go, yeah, but don't you think it has a little something to do with Travis Kelce dating? And they're like, well, yeah. Like they planned it. And this is the culmination of their brilliant marketing scheme to have Travis Kelce date T Swift.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Here's the thing.
This is classic
I
mansplaining
like
bullshit.
Taylor Swift. I've seen her in concert twice.
She's
Oh.
lovely. She's
I-
such
On
a
this most recent tour, did you go?
No,
I
no,
did.
but
It was amazing.
two other ones. I like Travis Kelce. He's got a great podcast with his brother. I get it. They're fantastic together.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really fun for a while. It's too much.
I'll
It's
give you that.
Too
It's
much.
a little too much.
Because Josh Allen, who's a really good quarterback, he's dating Haley Steinfeld. No one cares.
I
This
don't
is
know
not-
who any of those people are.
You don't know who Haley Steinfeld is? Who's in Pitch
and
Perfect?
Allen?
Pitch Perfect? Oh, no.
You don't need to know Josh Allen, but I mean,
Definitely don't know that guy.
I get it. This is a big. This is a big deal, but it's so much. If we could dial it back, even just like 30%, and then you guys can just keep it,
Right.
and everyone's happy. This is nothing against Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce. I get it. They're both awesome, but. My
It's kind of
God,
nuts.
My God.
She wore a pair of shorts that were $695 shorts, and they sold out the next day.
People got too much money then. I'm with Javier now.
People got too much money.
They got too much money.
I never said that.
I think some people do. Anyone who's got that kind of money for those kind of shirts has got too much money.
I thought billionaire is a policy failure. Yes, correct.
Yeah, those weren't billionaires.
two-
Billionaires
two of
are
you.
smart enough to just
Why
pay.
don't you just get a live in your communes, hippies?
Yeah,
Oh, settle down. You better calm down.
I'm
you see that
team,
Twitter-
I'm
Twitter
team
reference.
Josh and Haley.
You got to calm
course
down.
you are.
What is it? You better calm down. You have to calm down. We're just plowing through.
You need to calm down.
you need to calm down. You need to calm down. You need to calm down.
Being too loud.
So let's move on to Minnesota news. Did you see this? What is we didn't plan for this, well, because we didn't plan for anything. But
Blanket statement.
there was some discussion of they're trying to overthrow your party chair again.
Yeah. So
And then
apparently-
Representative Eric Mortensen announced that he was going to be running for chair, then announced he wasn't going to be running for chair. He was like, or there was an announcement that he was going to run for chair. He liked it. He shared it. And then he said, no, not me. What's
that
going
was
on?
weird. So
What's going
somebody
on?
put up a Facebook. Okay, so first of all, I think they tried to oust
Yeah.
former Senator Han as the chair like last year when there was a normal election time,
Yep.
and he won. He won re-election to party chair, which is a horrible, awful, tough job that I don't know why anybody would want, but people just wanted him out. But they were not successful. He was successful and was reelected, and then. Now there's another.
To be clear, he was successful at re-electing himself, not at re-electing Republicans.
Well, right. Right. We'll get
Or
to that.
electing them.
Maybe we'll get to that someday. So then there's always a state central meeting every December, and there's one coming up, and that is who elects the chair. And apparently there's a move. I don't know if you do as a motion of no confidence or whatever. I do not think it will be successful, but there's talk that this is going to happen. The thing is, in a off year December state central convention, it is so all about the couple hundred people that show up, because so few people are going to show up, that I feel like while he's maybe successful, there's so easy to manipulate these like small party, inner circle party functions. And so, something you got to watch. But yeah, former Representative Mortensen, it was weird. There was like a actual dummied up, like Mortensen for chair with his picture, like a flyer. Like it didn't really say draft Mortensen. It was him. And then, I don't know, there was a Facebook page. He commented or liked the Facebook page and then said, no, I'm not really running.
Well, I mean, I'm not, anyway.
What's our feeling on Mort?
Everyone hates.
Is he the guy who got kicked out of all the caucuses?
He got kicked out of the caucus.
The crazy caucus that left the crazier
Well,
caucus.
The new
the
Republican
Republican
caucus. We call it the
caucus.
new Republican caucus.
Basically, just for being an a-hole. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
there wasn't a scandal. It was just like, God, you're such an a-hole.
And we are literally defined by being a-holes. That's why we're on our own. We're our own small group of a-holes,
Some of them are
and we're like, yeah. They're like, there are only 4 of us in this. So like, this is like the.
Well, we got a 5th. Nope, you
No,
get out.
no,
The
you
Republican
get out.
Party, Republican Party in Minnesota, the state party, is a mess.
It is. It's
About
terrible.
the money that they had to spend to get rid of Jennifer Carnahan.
Yeah.
They have no money.
Paid her off to like 40 grand or something.
Something like that.
Tens of thousands.
But it can't get worse. And that's not a vote of no confidence for David Hand. I don't know who else I'd rather have than him. I mean, not the Mort guy or the Mort people. None of those guys, but good Lord,
Like that
is the
cat that's on the
that
screen
cat that's on the screen. I mean, I don't
Maybe.
know.
Actually,
I'm gonna
hold on.
I'm gonna subscribe to the cat's newsletter. So see what they say.
I wonder what that cat's got to do with BPOU conventions and endorsements.
Why do only we call it BPOU, which is such a weird
You guys
thing.
don't call it
They don't
BPOU?
call it
No, we call them Senate districts, like because that's what they are.
And BPOU is
like
a basic
their actual
party organizational
Ba-
unit.
Basic
ba-
political
It is the most
organizational
ridiculous name, like BPOU. Basic. See, because
Basic
our side always
political
complains that
organizational
your
unit.
side is better at messaging, and it is generally true, or often, or not generally, it is often true. But holy crap, like you guys call them BPOUs, and they're basic political
Organizational
units.
units.
That makes it sound like androids, like they're little robots.
I was vice chair of my BPOU.
I was very
It
surprised
does not compete.
when I found out that DFL does not use that term. I only found that out recently. Your term is better.
So to be clear, like in the metro area, we call them Senate districts. In Greater Minnesota, they're it's county parties, which then gets confusing because because some counties, like a Senate district, might span 2 counties, and so a Senate endorsement.
we also have that where some of the BPOUs will be either a Senate district based or they can organize as a county unit.
Stop doing the robot, please.
Wally wants to be chair of BPOU Center.
All right. The Walls tech checks are going to be taxed by the feds. What's up
So
with
these
that?
already
So
very tiny
That
checks.
pathetic little check that some people get is going to be taxed by the feds. But let's give credit where credit is due. This will be a bipartisan thank a little bit right here because Tim Walz came out and said that's bullshit.
Where did he say that?
Not in the main press.
I don't know.
No.
It's being reported.
Oh,
To Brian's mom.
I just remembered something else to add to our run sheet here that we're doing
Yeah,
this
we're
to
doing it
come
as we
along
fly.
with. So recently, I think last week or the week before, it was announced at the Democratic Governors Association that Tim Walz
the
is
head of it.
is the chair. Yes, and just yesterday it was announced from Puerto Rico, where the lieutenant governor is there for the Democratic Lieutenant Governors Association, that she is the chair of the Democratic Lieutenant Governors
Minnesota's
Association.
taking over everything.
Like we are. That's right. Minnesota
DGA
Democrats
and the DLGA.
and the DLGA. Yes, we
Sounds
are.
like our people need more to do.
Yeah, well, what, our people? Who was our people?
The
Who's
Minnesota,
the our?
the leaders of the state of Minnesota. Got
yeah.
all kinds of extra time for these clubs.
Oh yeah, you know what we haven't put on a run sheet before, since we're just spitballing here.
Lunch pie.
The flag. Everyone settle down about the fucking loons. Just settle down.
Okay, first of all,
The
I actually
seal
like
is
that
better
seal.
than those
Controversial.
flags.
The seal is nice.
Seal's
I think
cool.
the seals. I actually I like the flag options. I also don't like. I just love that people like the flag should be able to fly horizontally and vertically. Like, is that how you fly the current one that you own? Like, who owns a Minnesota State flag? No one.
Well, some people. I mean,
And I predict next year, State Fair, whatever flag they choose, it will sell like hotcakes. It'll be fine.
some of them are
cares?
fine.
You know who's got a cool flag? City of St. Paul's got a cool flag. You know what's not cool? Most of the city of St. Paul. You know we're losing our
Hey,
pottery barn.
hey.
We're losing our pottery barn on Grand Avenue.
Who cares?
Because there's nothing left in that building. It was the last thing in that building. Grand Avenue now is struggling.
You know what killed that?
All of St. Paul is
You know
struggling.
what killed that was the freaking stupid neighbors who had a white riot when the city tried to put in meters so that traffic would flow.
That's not
and so
what
you know what?
killed it.
Yeah, absolutely. What
No,
killed
it
like
wasn't.
it's there, and also maybe putting like national big chains in like a neighborhood is not the best move.
Yeah,
Like,
tell that to 50th in France. Tell that to 50th in France. It's a terrible idea.
You want me to talk to 50th in France?
Yes, and I want you
Is
to
that
tell
a
them they're
person?
putting national
Where-
chains
where
in
is
a
that?
street area.
What town is that?
Edina.
Call Heather.
Oh,
Do you think that
You think I give a
Groveland
flying
area is-
frick about the cake eaters in Edina?
I'm just saying
That,
it
they love they love their high end
You
stores.
just want to argue.
Yeah,
I'm
yes, I
just saying
do.
They have national brands.
We're filling
on a
airtime.
street, just like Grand Avenue.
And
And now Grand Avenue's. I'm worried about St. Paul, but it has a cool flag. Back to the flags.
Anyway.
both of you are wrong. It was Amazon that did it.
No, that area, Grand Avenue. The neighbors in Grand Avenue never decided whether they like their businesses or not. No.
But getting back to the flag, I think the flag options. Some of them are, I think, really bad. A couple of them I could live with. I think that they had some really, really, really cool options that they didn't allow to progress to the finals. I'm ready for it to be over. I think your flag should be simple enough that kids can draw it. And some of them they could.
And that's the thing. Like with
Texas is like
and like so
City of Chicago.
That's why people are like saying like, well, we like the seal. Why not just put the seal on the flag? Like that's literally one of the principles of sort of like the design folk experts or what it's saying. Like, don't put seals on there because you can't see it from a distance.
Do you know what else I learned in Ireland?
What?
You have the green, the white, and the orange, and of course, you know what that is. It's the Catholics
Everyone
and the
knows.
Protestants.
Everyone knows
And
that.
the white is peace.
Everyone knows that.
Shouldn't work out for a long.
They sold you all kinds of really they sold you that as knowledge.
No.
And they're like, oh yeah, no, oh and,
I
that, and
honestly
oh
just
yeah,
wanted
lady,
to talk
and
about
that
my
sweater
trip
you're
to-
wearing,
I just want to talk about my trip to Ireland.
that sweater you're wearing,
You guys won't let me talk
tells
about
everyone
it.
what
You
clan
guys-
you're from. Can I
you guys
touch
wanna
it?
Talk about
Can I touch it?
Sweaty Mexico and nipples, and I have amazing stories about Ireland.
Excuse me, my nipples were not showing. That was the
No,
point of
I'm
that
sorry.
story.
You're right.
That was the
Take
point
it
of that
back.
story.
take
I
it
was very sweaty
You
though.
were an undershirt.
I had a literal
go.
swap fop. What do you call that?
Flop sweat?
A flop towel. Like for the ceremony, and all night long, I could not
Like
believe
Rick
how
James?
much liquid was coming out of my body. It was insane. But anyway,
Moving on.
moving on.
Right, but we can't talk about the Irish
So,
flag.
so anyway, Democrats, our governor and lieutenant governor, are now king and queen of Democratic governors and lieutenant governors. So
I guess.
that's good.
Monarchy, that's always something we should aspire to.
Your candidate is literally saying he's going to be a
Not my
dictator. So
candidate.
settle down.
That's not
your
monarchy.
party standard bearer.
That's totally that's
Democratically
tyrannical.
elected.
Check your leadership file.
I don't want to go. I was on a call where people were talking about Israel, Palestine, and apartheid, and someone said, like, making a point like apartheid is not genocide. I'm like, I thought we were against both. Actually,
We are against both.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway. Yeah. So I'm not. It's not a king.
It's too complicated to talk about, but for everybody, keep your eye on the Senate DFL. There's a lot of issues going on between a Jewish senator, Senator Latz, and other members of his
Oh,
caucus.
damn, that should have been my spank. I'm so unprepared today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, take a look at it. It's a big deal. I mean,
Was that even on the list?
No, yeah,
Talking on-
no.
That's-
Actually,
doesn't matter.
Ron
It
Lapp
was in
saying
this
super
list.
racist things was not on the list.
Oh no. All right, we're getting
see, this is why I didn't want to bring it up. I thought of it, but anyway,
You
take a
should have
look
brought it up so we could text.
I did bring it up now.
Yeah, no, yeah.
If I would have got Amy's text, I would have been happy to do a run check.
Also, we had a new budget forecast. What's in the new budget forecast?
They're saying what 2.4
Billion
billion,
surplus.
but
one time only.
one time only, and they're projecting a structural deficit, which it would.
But I didn't get that because it was like
There's
but they said
mixed
there'll be
messages on
82
it.
million. Yeah, I
but
didn't-
now that seems to be what's being reported is that there is the 19 billion's gone. and deficits are coming if we don't do something.
Yeah, which makes sense. We've had a period of prolonged money, and this was particularly robust, an unprecedented surplus because of the money that was poured in COVID and the inflation and the results of, all of that in an economy that was on fire. And now we're going into a period of slowing. I paid under $3 a gallon for gas today in Pine City. By the way, have you guys paid that lately? I did. It was $2 something.
Did they like your sweater there?
They did.
Did they have a special? They have a special Clan Coke discount for you?
Yep.
Where were you?
In Pine City.
Clan? You said Clan?
Clan Coke. Did they have like a special discount for her?
Oh,
that's what we call a callback.
I didn't know where you were, and just thinking about your party and about my thing. I thought you were talking about the other clan.
Oh
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Look at you. You're so full of sass today.
It's fun for us to associate with her.
It's what happens when we don't prepare.
All right. We're just
All right.
This isn't that different.
Let's see. You know what? I didn't check to see if we have any patrons, but do we go to Spank and Thank? I can't imagine we do since we've been off for 3 weeks. Actually, I'm going to check with this person because I don't know if they want us to say their name. But I'll
it's
think
not
them next week.
Mike, is it?
Oh no, it's not.
No, it was a real person. But yeah,
sometimes people join our Patreon and specifically ask to not be named, which is totally fine.
It was a dignitary.
Yeah, it was a dignitary, and I've not asked this person.
Okay, well then we'll just say thanks for not being a dick.
Thanks for lovely human, and I know you listen every week religiously, for not being a dick. Here's the thing, I know this is an odd time to get abusive about this, given that we've been off for 3 weeks, but we try very hard to put together some. Listen, last week, I even recorded a damn thing in the Mexico City airport, like.
Yeah.
Last week, I mean, let's be honest, it was filler episode, but we each did our Spanks and Thanks. Mm-hmm. What did you guys think of the Spank? I didn't listen to you. I wasn't on vacation.
I was pretty brilliant, but you guys.
We get an independent opinion on that. Listeners, chime in.
Hey, the best episode ever was the one where I was gone. Seems universally the favorite.
Yes.
No.
Patreon.com/Wrong About Everything podcast. If you want us to always have a run sheet, you know what would be really cool? There's an intern. And you know what interns won't do anymore? Work for free.
Yeah, they don't.
Because that's... was a shitty practice to begin with. And you heard about the Great Resignation and all that. So if you want us to have better preparation, maybe you should pony the hell up, huh?
Kids today.
Yeah, it's the holidays. How about you get your Republicans, get your favorite Democrat. No, that's not going to work. Republicans, this is your favorite Republican.
This is something
that's not you.
You should do this as a gift to your family.
You should gift your family. Yes, that's it. Let's spitball this.
Whatever.
Merry Christmas. Tomorrow Hanukkah starts. You want to give the gift of the joy of Wrong About Everything. Go to patreon.com/Wrong About Everything podcast. This only applies if you can afford it, because if you can't afford it, we enjoy putting out this content for free. But if you can't afford it, and you can't come on, just a couple bucks, you're kind of being a dick.
It's almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. We've been doing this for almost 10 years, people.
It'll be 10 years.
Yeah.
That is wild.
We should have a live event.
Yeah.
Someday.
Wouldn't that be
That would be something.
We've been planning a live event for 4 years.
You want us to have a live event, people? Well, contribute to our Patreon. We need an event planner. We need an intern, and we need a paid intern. And they don't, you can't pay them nothing. Or even crappy.
Anyway, couple quick things before we move on.
What?
One, we didn't direct people to our website, wrongabouteverything-podcast.com. We also want to thank the billboards that are up around town. And
Thanks, Blue Ox.
Thanks, Blue Ox. And we want to thank our producer, Gabe Noah, who had a birthday yesterday.
Gabe, you didn't even say anything.
Why would he
Is he
say
60, 61?
I am 45.
Oh,
45.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Amy, that was.
I wished him a happy birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday,
You did not?
Gabe.
No, she didn't.
I've
got the
Gabe,
list.
That's hurt.
what do you need? You'd let me know.
Well, I'll tell you off air.
Alrighty then. Are we on plugs then?
We are on plugs, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be on TPT's Almanac this Friday for the political panel. Not sure what we'll talk about. Probably what we just talked about.
And I will be interviewing next Tuesday on Channel 4. You can catch me on WCCO. We are going to be talking about sort of some of the political fallout around, frankly, Israel and Palestine and the terrible, terrible things happening there.
Well, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
You will.
And the BS show every Tuesday.
And BS show every Tuesday. Catch Brian and I on the BS podcast and radio stations around the state.
Brian and me.
Shut the hell up.
Wow. Settle down. And I am hosting the Moth Story Slam next Wednesday.
What's the theme?
On the 13th at the Parkway Theater. The theme is home.
Sometimes I pretend like I'm going to do it.
So December
In my
13th,
head.
you should do it. December 13th, it's at the Parkway Theater. So get tickets. Go to themoth.org. Get tickets. The Parkway always sells out. So get tickets like today. The theme is home. So December 13th. It's a little earlier than we normally do. And next year, exciting news. Next year in 2024, we are going to have a monthly Story Slam at the St. Paul venue at the Amsterdam, and on every other month in the Minneapolis venue. Wow. So it's half, not twice as many, half as many.
Right, because you do one every month.
We do one.
Switch
We switch it back for. Now we're going to have some months we're going to double up. So very exciting. So that means
well, they sell out. The Amsterdam's always sold out too.
Yeah. And so that means I got more gigs. I'm more So
nice.
This will be an exciting show. December 13th. Please. It's I mean honestly, you guys have been to it. You've been to it before. You just haven't put in a story.
Yeah. No, I should.
You haven't done a story either.
Yeah.
Your daughter did.
5 times. My daughter did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like, I don't know, 5-6 times, and I don't think I always pretend like I'm gonna, like when I share the podcast.
Yeah.
How long do you go, Javier? Like
5 minutes.
people who
5
might
minutes.
wanna
5 minutes,
Tight.
1 minute grace period.
It's
so
a tight
6 minutes.
five.
It's a tight five.
Tight five.
But not stand up. It's stories. Very important.
Okay, I'm excluded then. Thank you.
No, I'm just saying you can come. You just got to tell a story. Don't
I get
just
you.
don't tell a series of jokes.
Happy
It's
birthday,
just like a
Gabe.
story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But it's honestly my favorite thing I do. I really really love doing it, and it's a great deal for for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets are not that expensive, and it's just always a great show. I hosted one where people are literally like, "Did the stories get vetted in advance? They were too good. It was that great." So now can we go? Let's
Spanks
and thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
Who
Who
wants to
wants
go?
to start?
I can go. So my spank is going to be to Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball announced that the Atlanta Braves are going to be the hosts of the 2025 Major League All-Star Game, which so it will be in Atlanta. Some of you may remember back in 2021 when the Braves were supposed to hold the All-Star game in Atlanta, but MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred decided to move the event to Denver in protest of a voting bill by the Georgia State Legislature. We talked about that a lot at the time on this show, and my spank is not necessarily to anything dealing with the people who liked or did not like that particular voting bill, but I'm spanking Major League Baseball because it's something different in Atlanta than it was before. That bill passed. It's still in place. But I guess your virtue signaling just kind of had an expiration date. So I'm glad to see that at the time you can pretend that you care about issues and all that stuff, and you can take money away from the citizens of Georgia and give it to the citizens of Denver, citizens of Colorado. But this just highlights just what a bunch of crock all this corporate virtue signaling is, whether it's Disney or Target or Major League Baseball or the NBA. All of it's bullshit, people. They don't care about anything other than your money. And stop acting like, oh, they're so brave for speaking out. No, they would be very happy to take the opposite of whatever issue they're talking about if it meant they would make more money. Look what's happening in Disney. They're hemorrhaging money and they're going to start changing stuff. Does that mean that they change their opinions? No, they change. They change with the wins, where the money's coming from. It's all bullshit. So I'm spanking Major League Baseball, and I'm spanking the people that think that these corporations give a shit about them. My thank is going to be a very sad one. We learned yesterday or today. We just learned very recently that on the 5th, former state representative John Poston passed away. He had ALS, which is just one of the most disgusting diseases, and it's sad to see what it does to people and families. But John Poston, who was not in the legislature currently, he represented the was it Bemidji or Brainerd? I just get Bemidji and Brainerd mixed up. Brainerd area. He was from Lakeshore, Minnesota. He was the mayor there and on the council. Before that, he has a child. He has a wife. He was somebody who was very, very, very kind to constituents and staff and lobbyists and all of that. And he is someone that was very well liked. He was a credit to the Republican caucus. He was a credit to the institution, and he will be very missed. And our sympathies definitely go to his family. That's all I got.
All right. Okay. Let's see. I'll do mine then. So let's start with my spank. I'm spanking the Ivy League. They'll probably like it. You know how they are.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Thank you, sir. May I have another? But Harvard, Penn, and MIT presidents were on the Hill and talking about what's been going on at campuses around the country. But in particular, Harvard, Penn, and MIT were called on the carpet. And Elise Stepanek asked a very pointed question, which to my mind and to hers should have been an easy one to answer. Gabe, do we have the test? Do we have the video?
Here we go. Yep.
All right, thanks.
At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide of Jews on campus.
Answer the question.
Intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
So those would not be according to the MIT's code of conduct or rules?
That would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe.
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
I am asking specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
Context.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. McGill.
That's good, Gabe. Harvard had no additional to add, but made it that it was a question of context. I don't know how you can take calling for the genocide out of context. This was an easy answer. And I do think that speech and free speech and campus speech can be nuanced, but I thought that question was an easy one. So I'm spanking the Ivy League on all of that. They are under fire. So we'll see what comes of it, but seems like a very simple, and it's kind of just a part of the stunning things that we've been seeing going on in this country, and makes me incredibly sad. I'm going to thank Senator from Pennsylvania. Yep, Fetterman, which is. We'll play that video. So I'll set it up a little bit. Senator Fetterman, who is, he's just an odd duck. When Representative or Congressman Santos was expelled, he started doing work on Cameo. And for folks that don't know, Cameo is an app or a website where you can order up like celebrity using that loosely, videos and send them to your friends. So like I could send a happy birthday to Javier or a congratulations to Brian with some celebrity that's on there, and you can pay them to do
You've done
that.
it before with Fortune
I've
Feimster.
done it a couple times. Did
Yep.
it with Fortune Feimster. I did it with somebody who was in the show Beetlejuice. Fortune Feimster.
What does it
for my
run
wife.
cost-wise?
What it is it depends. Like some
They
people
set their own price, right?
Yeah, some people might be $5, some people might be $500. It kind
Okay.
of depends on the level of celebrity. I had a baseball player do my dad. Sent a cameo to my dad. Yeah,
I'm not going to yuck at him.
someone from Beetlejuice
Wow.
for my daughter.
You can pay for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
My brother sent Greg Brady to my sister
Wait,
in a cameo.
Barry Williams.
Barry Williams, yeah. No, Jose. No, Jose.
okay.
Wow, settle. Wow.
I just
Wow,
I was
you just like
asking.
up and up hating on my older brother because he's not as
Sorry,
handsome
Jose.
as the other one.
I didn't say that. I just said. No, I kind of did. Say,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
kinda- you
I'm sorry to
totally did.
say.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, moving on. On to my thank is for Fetterman because he ordered up a cameo from George Santos. And do we have that, Gabe?
Do we say who it's true?
Oh,
I don't think I need to.
hey, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. Look, I don't think I need to tell you, but these people that want to make you get in trouble and want to kick you out and make you run away, you make them put up or shut up. You stand your ground, sir, and don't get bogged down by all the haters out there. Stay strong. Merry Christmas.
So the Bobby that he's talking to, that Senator Fetterman is sending to, is his colleague, Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat senator from New Jersey, who recently was Googling how much money is a bar of gold worth, because the guy's been on the take from foreign governments. He's basically a traitor and a spy. And while George Santos spent some campaign money on Botox and OnlyFans, Menendez has been selling out our country, and he still is sitting in the Senate. So I actually appreciate that Fetterman is using and punctuating this unacceptable behavior. Menendez should no longer be in the Senate, and making his point with a cameo from George Santos. So Fetterman, you're thanked.
And particular because it's in Washington, everyone's been talking about this, that like Bob Menendez is basically been saying to his colleagues, like, to threatening them. Like, there's I read an article about this, about just basically like, I'm going to take you all down with me. I won't all this, and I'll remember. Yeah, no, and someone who works in New Jersey politics and is like, he's calling all these people and threatening.
Well, he's been in New Jersey politics from like the
forever,
dawn of time.
right.
From,
But he's calling people and saying, if you like the people who like call on him to resign and threaten him to get him whatever. Yeah,
a bully, traitor, piece of crap.
So yeah,
Get out,
I
Bobby.
don't love John Fetterman given George Santos any money, but I do like.
It was maybe $5. We've established it could be $5.
No, but I think the price is. I think it's a little. I think it's like a few $100s.
All right.
So it's how he's making money. All right. So my spank is for the Texas GOP. Been talking about they have one thing in common with Elise Stefanik, who's very outraged there about authoritarianism, who supports the guy who's promising to be a dictator, is that the Texas GOP cannot, like a lot of the Republican Party, just cannot quit Nazis, cannot quit Holocaust deniers. Members of reading from an Axios story, members of the Texas GOP's executive committee voted 32-29 over the weekend to reject a proposed ban on party members associated with Nazi sympathizers and Holocaust deniers. They also censured outgoing Republican State Rep Andrew Moore over his role in investigating and impeaching Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who absolutely was a criminal and every one of his accusers were Republicans, and they couldn't convict him in the Senate there. But roughly half of the committee also tried to prevent a record of their vote from being kept, according to the Texas Tribune. So they can't bring themselves to distance themselves from Nazis and Holocaust deniers, but also want to make sure that the public doesn't know that that's what they refuse to do. Listen, next year is a fight between, like, whatever you think about Joe Biden. It is freaking quaint to consider anything but the future of democracy, and that's what we're voting on. Period. Full stop. And so like, give me the old guy. Don't give a shit. If that's the only way you can think to do the right thing, then absolutely go and do that. Now, my thank this week is for Republican Congressman James Comer. He's the guy who's been leading the impeachment proceedings. And we finally got the smoking gun, you guys. That we finally got the smoking gun for why Hunter, the Biden crime family, which is you mostly don't hear this news because this guy who is chairing an impeachment committee, he sends out press releases and literally no one reports on them because they are so absurd. But this week we finally got the smoking gun, and that is that in 2018, Joe Biden lent his son Hunter Biden money to buy a Ford Raptor. The pickup, the expensive pickup.
Should he be driving?
That's I think where we're getting to the smoking gun. So in 2018, I actually don't know where in 2018 where he was in his recovery. I honestly don't remember. But that he loaned his son money, and then Hunter Biden paid Joe Biden back in three installments of $1,380. And that's proof that Joe Biden. I don't know what it's proof of. It's impossible to tell. But it's super weird that two people who were private citizens at the time as well, that a father might lend his son money to buy a car, and then that son might pay him back, yada, yada, yada. You do the math there, and then Chinese money and like impeach Joe Biden. That's our smoking gun. And so congratulations, James Comer, for showing what's wrong. That has not been a waste of taxpayer dollars, and this is not not bananas. And here we are, but doing the important work of the people, I'm sure. And with that, we somehow made it through a show without an outline. So, somehow. I am Democratic strategist and the Puerto Rican Heat, Javier Murillo.
I think $400 for a cameo from George Santos is too much, but $199 for Sarah Palin sounds just about right. Brian McDaniel.
And I learned what a shillelagh is. Amy Koch.
Oh, God. Wow, you had the worst tour guide. Oh, my God. Did they tell you about leprechauns?
You're here to see our gold.
Yeah, Jesus. Did you know that at the end of the rainbow? My God. Anyway.
St. Patrick's got rid of all the snakes.
Oh, wait, should we do that again? And with that. Yada, yada, yada. Were you the last one? You ruined it with your stupid Irish trivia. That's not trivia. Everyone knows.
I'm Amy Koch.
Take us away, Gabe.
You are wrong about everything. That was messy. We're some messy bees.
We gave him content.